If you've realized that you have more makeup and beauty items than you can possibly use in several lifetimes, then like many of us, you might be looking for content that encourages you to use what you have and makes it fun. Because we all know the thrill of the hunt, looking for that just a little bit better foundation or concealer or eyeshadow palette or whatever it is. And then getting those packages in the mail so it's like Christmas all year long. Unfortunately, then you have to also pay the piper. So this year I've been looking for ways to get into my stash and use up products, but still have fun while I'm doing it. And I've discovered the panning community. Now I am just dipping my toes into this panning pool. There are some hardcore panners out there, and I am not one of them. I am not real good at the whole tracking thing, but I am having fun with this one. And this is the Out the Door in 24 panning project. This is a Pantastic Ladies collaboration that was created by Deb B. I will have all of the information and Deb's channel linked down below, along with some of my other favorite creators who are also doing this project. The idea behind this project is at the beginning of 2024, or right now if you want to start, because you can just jump in where you are, we picked 24 items that we want to use up in 2024. These can be makeup, hair care, skincare, any beauty product that you want to focus on and use up this year. The little twist to this is that at the end of the year, anything that's not gone gets decluttered. Now, of course, this is your project, and if you have a product in there that you do not want to get rid of at the end of the year, you can keep it. But a lot of the products that I have put into this project were old to start with. And so at the end of the year, for most of them, I am going to be getting rid of them. Then part 2 of this project is that each month you look around your home and you declutter 24 household items, and that can be 24 pieces of junk mail, 24 dead batteries out of your junk drawer, 24 items of clothing, whatever you deem to be the things that you are decluttering, it counts. I am not counting just basic trash, but if you need to, you can do that. I'll have my playlist of the Out the Door in 24 listed up in the card, so if you haven't seen this from the beginning and want to see how I've done, then you can go check it out. One thing I would like to mention is when I was filming and editing last month's update, I was kind of frustrated with myself because I didn't take better before pictures of my products. When I was trying to put things together and actually see where I was compared to where I started, it was really hard to see anything. And I got to the point where I decided I was going to take new pictures. Yes, they are not exactly before pictures, but honestly, there hadn't been very much usage showing. And I decided that I could either go through the year and be frustrated every time I tried to edit these videos, or I could take new pictures and be happy with the comparison pictures when I was putting them into my videos. And I decided to choose that option. So if you've watched my previous updates and this one, you will notice that the before pictures are different. And in a couple of instances, that means that I lost a little bit of progress. But in the terms of a year, I don't think it's going to make a difference. And besides which, this is just a fun little video on YouTube, and in the whole scheme of things, it doesn't really matter if my pictures were taken in January or February. Let's get into the products and see how I did. And we're going to go in order of how things are applied to my face in general. So the first one on my list is the Iris and Romeo SPF 50 Weekend Skin. And honestly, having this in a project has been really good for developing my habit of wearing SPF every day. It has always been my intention to do so, but reality doesn't quite always live up to expectation. However, I have been using this really consistently. I am not keeping a tally of how many times I use it because this is in my bathroom and my tally sheet is over here. But you can see here how much more I used between February and March than what I used between January and February. So I have made some really good progress on this and I'm excited about it. I have 2 primers in this project. The first one is the Essence Prime Plus Studio Hydrating Primer, and the second one is the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. So the Essence, I have a mark here. I didn't mark it in January where I started because I couldn't get the air out of it without it just kind of gooping all over the place. So this is where I was in February, and now here's where I am in March. When I use this, I only put it on the perimeter of my face because I tend to be oily in the T-zone, and I really don't need more hydration than what I get from my skincare routine. And so this only goes in the outer portion of my face. I did use this 11 times in the past month. For the e.l.f., it's not really possible to see how much is left in here. You can kind of take the top off and see, like where the bottom of the container is, but it's not possible to measure it. So this one, all I can tell you really is that I used it 14 times, and I used this one in the center of my face in the T-zone. And because it's also slightly mattifying, it can help my makeup stay in that area longer without looking oily. For foundation, I have 2 shades of my Misha Perfect Cover BB Cream. I have shade 27 that I used 9 times, and shade 21 that I used 8 times. And the reason they're different, normally I mix these and use them together. Oh, by the way, the look that's on my face today was created entirely with products that are in this project. So usually I use these together and mix them, which is what I did today because one's too light and one's too dark. However, I also use them as mix-ins for other foundations I have if they're not quite the right color. This one has kind of a grayish tone to it, and so it can be really helpful to neutralize a foundation that is too warm for me. And then this one, if I have something that's just too light, I can add a little bit of that and it will deepen it up for me. So the 27 last time I was here, and now I am here. And for 21, we have January's mark. There's February's, and here is March. So I'm making really good progress in this one. I'm not sure why I didn't mark this one in, oh, actually I did. I think it just rubbed off. You can barely see that there's a mark right there for the January. By the way, my perfect shade is 23, and that's also down there in my foundation bin. Next up is my Maypore eyeshadow primer. This I got on Amazon. I believe it's intended to be a dupe for the P. Louise eyeshadow base. Never used that, so I can't confirm that, but the packages look really similar, and so it kind of seems like that's what they're going for. This one, I actually am able to put a mark on it now. When I first started using it, there was so much product in here that even though there was a little air in there, I could not get it down far enough in order to squeeze out the air without it coming out the top. But now I can actually press it down, and I've made some progress. And that's really exciting because with the tiny little amount of this that I use every time, seriously, it's that. That's how much I use to prime both of my eyes. I put it on there, rub it between my fingers, and then dab that on, and then use a brush to blend it in. I didn't think I was going to ever see any progress, but I have, and that's exciting. By the way, that got used, or at least it got recorded that it got used 12 times. And the reason I say that is because I'm almost positive I used it more than that, because I use it pretty much every time I do my eyeshadow, unless I've just been lazy that day and just take my concealer all the way around. But I don't do that very often because concealer is more likely to crease on me. And so I'm pretty sure that I used it more than 12 times, but that's how many times I recorded that I used it. After foundation, I put on concealer, and in this project, I have the Morphe Filter Effect Concealer in Light 6 Neutral. And at first, I wasn't able to tell how much was in there, but then I realized if I used the wand and kind of scraped the side, it would leave a blank space where the product was not. So like once I got to where the product was, it would fill back in. So I was able to tell. And so between February and March, I went from there to there. And I used this, well, I wrote down that I used it 4 times, but I know I used it way more than that to get that much usage. So I don't really know how many times I used it, but it was more than 4. And if you've watched any canning projects, or even like last year when I attempted to do a Shop My Stash and keep track of things, keeping track is what keeps me from doing more projects, because right now I have bins of palettes that I used in March, bins of palettes that I used in past months that aren't going back into my inventory, bins of products that are in my Out the Door in 24, a bin of products that are in my Panning Cats and Dogs project, and it's about to the point where it's getting a little overwhelming for me, so there will be no more panning projects added in 2024. The Flower Beauty Miracle Matte Translucent Powder, I want to get this done and out of here because this container is so big and kind of obnoxious, and it doesn't fit in my powder bin, and so I just want to use it up. Unfortunately, it also is really impossible for me to show you how much is left in here. I really had hoped that there would be less than there is, because I've recorded that I've used it 8 times, and I think I used it more than that, and so I was really kind of hoping that, maybe within another month it might be gone, but I don't think it's going to be. So I do think next month, though, I will have some empties, and I'm really excited about that. I almost had one this month. Next up are some color products, and I'll be putting in the overlay shots as I go along talking. And the first one is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in Honey Drip. I have recorded 9 uses on this, which I think is really good because I actually like the Revolution Cream Bronzer better, but I'm using this one to get it used up. And I have discovered that if I go in with a brush with this, like right into the pan, that I do get some lifting of my foundation. But if I go in first with my finger, dab it on, and kind of start to blend it, and then use a brush, that it doesn't disturb the foundation as much. And I really, really thought that I was going to see pan and be able to see through the bottom of this. And because the product is so dark and kind of messy, I can't tell if I'm actually at the bottom or not, but I kind of think that I am. I also have in a powder bronzer, and that's the Laura Geller Beached Matte Baked Hydrating Bronzer in Siesta Medium. And there is definitely larger pan in this than there was last month. So I am really excited about that. I am having a little bit of trouble with it wanting to break in the middle when I use it. So it may be sooner rather than later, I may have to repress this so that it doesn't all break. The other thing I'm trying to do is normally I go into it with my brush this way and it's getting a lot thinner up here. And so I will flip it around and go in this way so that I'm using more of the product up here. If you haven't tried that before with your palettes or powdered products when you have pan, to use them more evenly, turn them upside down in your hand from the way you normally go in with your brush, and you'll maybe use it a little more evenly. The Doll 10 Hydrogel Blush in She's a Doll. I do think that I have a little bit of a dip in there where I did not before. I have 9 uses recorded on that, and I really do like this color. I think it's a neutral color that can go with warmer clothes, or it can go with a cooler look as well. So I think it's really versatile and flexible in that way. I don't remember if I said, but I have 9 uses on that. And then the Essence Mosaic Blush in All You Need Is Pink. I was really hoping to see pan this month, but I don't. I only have 3 uses recorded, and I don't think that that's correct. I think I have more than that, but there is a dip, and I have faith that we're going to see pan next month. Next up are my highlighters, and the first one is the Wander Beauty Wondrous Glow in After Hours. I have 6 uses marked on that one, and that's probably pretty accurate. Then the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Rose Quartz. And if you remember last month, this is the one that fell out onto my table, so I had to repress it. And so we're kind of starting over on the usage on this one. I do have 4 uses recorded on that one. And finally, the third highlighter in here, I'm crazy, I know, to have 3 highlighters in one project, is the Super Shock highlighter in Flexitarian. I only showed 2 uses recorded on this, and I kind of feel like maybe I used it more than that, but maybe I didn't. I don't know. So I'm not sure how helpful my usage recording is if I'm not recording all of my uses, but it gives us an idea, I guess. For my eyes, I have the e.l.f. Bite Size palette in Cream and Sugar, and I'm going to have to be a little careful on this one because this one that has the significant pan in it broke when I went to use it today. And I haven't decided if I'm going to dump that out or to try to use it in the pan like that. I have some that kind of migrated over here. I did take these with me out of town this weekend, and that may have contributed to its fragile state. I actually have a little bit of dip in the dark brown, which I'm surprised by because I don't use very much of that at all. I also think that the dips in the shimmers are deeper than they were. I used this palette a total of 5 times this month. And I often used it with the I Love You a Latte as a companion palette. You may notice that there's a part busted out of this one. That happened when I took it in my makeup bag this weekend. But what else happened that I was really excited about and almost forgot to tell you about is dun, da, 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 little baby pan right there. I wasn't even trying on this one. It's only in here as a companion palette. It's not even in the project, but it's exciting to hit pan nonetheless. Moving on to my eyeliners, I have the Wet n Wild Kohl Eyeliner Pencil in Simma Brown now. My paper that I was marking these on was getting a little bit ragged, and so I did transfer the other ones to an index card. But I couldn't transfer this one because it's bigger than the index card. So that is still on my old piece of paper. And for this one, you can see the January, February, and March lines, and it's pretty consistent how much I use in a month of this pencil. I use it almost every day for pretty much every eye look, and so that's probably going to stay consistent like that throughout the year. If that stays consistent like that, I just kind of made some marks on an index card. I'm still going to have this much of this pencil left at the end of the year. That's crazy how long it takes to go through these. By the way, I marked down that I used it 9 times, but I know that I used it more than that. The other eyeliner pencil that I have in this project is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof in black. And this one, if you look at my card, it looks like I used a ton of it, but I only used it twice. So what happened was it was feeling kind of dry, and I was trying to wipe off the eyeshadow that was on it, because when you put this over eyeshadow, it's going to pick up some of the shadow, and so it had this powder around it, and it was feeling kind of dry, and so as I was trying to wipe that off, I broke off the tip. So I guess if you break it, you don't have to use it, but I did not use as much as the marking on my index card says that I did. This is the one that I thought I was going to be able to roll out, and that is the LA Girl Setting Spray. I have so little left in there. I thought when I used it this morning I was going to use it up, but it's going to be 1 or 2 more times, and then it's going to be done. I have marked down that I use this 12 times, and that's probably pretty accurate because I don't use a setting spray every day. Sometimes I just forget. I like to put it on before I put my mascara on. I have to sneeze. No, it went away. Anyway, I like to put a setting spray on before I put my mascara on because I find if I put it on after, it re-wets the mascara, I open my eyes, and then it gets dots on my eyelids. So sometimes I don't remember to put it on, and then I'm just like, it's fine, I don't need it, and so I just don't. But I really think 1 or 2 more uses, and this guy's going to be gone. And that will be the first completed product in this Out the Door in 24 project. And then the last 3 products that I have are lip products. It's what's on my lips today. It's one of my favorite lip combinations, and that is the Moira Signature Lip Pencil in Posh Pink. And that, again, you can see really consistent usage from January to February to March. And so if that continues, I'll probably get down to about there, but still have pencil left at the end of the year. The ColourPop Lippie Sticks in Cookie, however, has also showed really consistent usage here. And I think this one also might be used up by next month. There's not much in there, and so I'm kind of hoping that by my April update, I will have 2 products finished and out the door. And then finally, I have the e.l.f. Mint Melt Lip Gloss, and I added a little sticker so I could keep track on here. And I used this a little bit more in March, it looks like, than I did in February. I have marked down that I used each of these 8 times, and that's actually more like 8 days because I mark them down at the beginning of the day, but I don't mark it down if I reapply later in the day. So there's definitely more uses than 8, but it probably is pretty accurate that I use them on 8 different days. Just a reminder that I have 2 products in here that I have not started to use yet. One of them is in SPF. I won't start using this one until the Iris and Romeo is gone, and the other is the AOA setting spray, and I won't use this one until the LA Girl one is gone, but that's probably going to be in the next couple of days. So, hey again, how are you? I power filmed a couple of videos yesterday in a short window of time that I had available, and it occurred to me sometime today that I did not give you guys the update on what I decluttered for my house for the second part of this project. And so here it is. I decluttered this bag of clothes, and there are some of my things, my daughter's things, there's some things that were my son's. He's been out of the house for over 3 years maybe. Anyway, so that's what's in that bag, and those are my 24 plus items that are being decluttered for the month of March. So back to Tina from yesterday to wrap everything up. So how about you? What are you doing to make it as fun to use the products you already have as it is to go out and buy new ones? Let me know down below. Also, I'm doing a weekly live. Every Wednesday at 4 p.m. I'm going live. And the idea there is just to sit around the kitchen table and talk with some friends about makeup and beauty and whatever else crosses our minds. So I hope you'll be able to tune in live or catch the replay. As the seasons are changing, I'm getting ready to do my semi-annual closet swap, and I have filmed that process before. So if you're interested in closet tours and decluttering with me style videos, then I will put that there so you can find it easily. I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.